all of us see, every game because the games themselves are different, guarding, having two guys on the floor and Kyrie and Luka that can make plays. And I thought our guys did a great job of, their game plan discipline in a lot of different situations. And we haven't had a game that's required that as much as tonight did, with those two guys being able to both make plays.
Welcome in, Hawks fans. It's your boy Bryce Lewis back at it again for another Atlanta Hawks wrap up. The Hawks win a tightly contested game in overtime, 132-130 over the Dallas Mavericks, in a big game for both teams. Mavericks losing this game, kind of hurting them, trying to get into the play-on in the Western Conference. But for the Hawks, this was big because Toronto had won earlier in the day. With them winning this game, they now stay in the 8th spot in the Eastern Conference as they're trying to fend off the Raptors with a big game coming up against Chicago on Tuesday as the race for the 8th speed. That way, the Hawks don't have to win 2 games to get into the postseason is still on the table. So ultimately in this game, listen, Hawks, typical story, 15-point lead, blew it. Almost lost the game at the end. Almost lost the game twice at the end, fouling JaVale McGee and fouling Christian Wood. Obviously the Christian Wood was a little questionable. I know a lot of people were complaining about the refs this game. That was a very questionable call, but realistically, overall, I think, it kind of felt like both teams didn't deserve to win this game by the way they were playing. And it just was a frustrating game to watch, I'm sure, on both ends. I mean, in the game tonight, pretty much, DeJounte had another pretty, I would say, solid game, shot over 50%, 25-7 for him, 3 straight solid games in a row. Trey had 24, but on 8 of 24 and 0 of 5 from 3. So he didn't have another good shooting game again, realistically. Need him to be a little bit more efficient and play a little bit better for them to have more success, because DeJounte is now starting to play better as we're getting down the stretch, but Trey has to get back up to that point. Bay came in, starting again for DeAndre Hunter, 13 tonight, 13 and 8. John Collins had 18 and 10 on 4-6 from 3, 5 of 10 from the field. So he was pretty good from the 3-point line. And Capella had some big tip backs late in the game, especially late in under 30 seconds. He had 14-11. Bench again continues to kind of give them what they need. 30 points between Bogdanovich and Okongwu. Jalen gave you 5, AJ gave you 3, but Jalen was more on the defensive end, active. Also had 5 assists in that game. That's a big number for Jalen. I think that's one thing I think Snyder really wants to utilize Jalen is his passing ability. He had 5 assists in this game. So overall, like I said, pretty wild game. Dallas won field goal battle, but the Hawks won the 3-point battle. And they also won the turnover battle. They had more assists, and they won the rebounding battle. They had 10 steals. There was a lot of things the Hawks won in this game, but that's why it's frustrating seeing it get back where it was when the Hawks had a 15-point lead. They were playing well. For some reason, this team has, for years, even under Nate and under Snyder as well, has just struggled to be able to keep up the play that got them the lead in the first place. And that's why you can never be comfortable if you're a Hawks fan watching the Hawks play because of what you're seeing. You're just like, it's hard for them to keep a lead, and that's showing. And so that's really the tough part of this entire equation for this team. It's just realistically, it feels like they should have more comfortable wins. And realistically, there's some games that they've choked away. And they've played against really good teams doing that. So it's not a matter if they can't play with them. It's a matter of just consistently. They are one of the most consistent teams I think I've ever seen in my life. And it showed again today. But like I said, they needed this win, and they got the win. It may have not been in the prettiest fashion, but they got the win. Now you got a big game against the Chicago. Hawks have been trading wins and losses, it feels like, for the last month now. So technically, if we go off that rhythm and pattern, they're going to lose against Chicago. But, we don't know. They're going to Chicago. So that'll be, like I said, a very, very big game for both sides. Again, Hawks trying to fight off the Raptors to get that 8th spot at least, and know they only have to win 1 game to be able to get into the postseason and not have to worry about having to win 2, because obviously you rather not win 2 if you don't have to win 2. And like I said, you can say maybe both teams ain't playing their best basketball, but the Raptors coming up actually have Charlotte. They beat Charlotte today. They have Charlotte again. So Hawks probably are going to be in a situation where unless Charlotte plays a really good game, Toronto probably will be projected to win that game. But Toronto does end the season against Boston twice and Milwaukee. So they have a very tough schedule to end the year. The Hawks pretty much from their point of view, they have to end the season after the Chicago game against Washington, Philadelphia, and Boston. So both teams have very hard 3-game stretches to end the year. So this Chicago game is going to be big for the Hawks to come out and win. Obviously, one thing you want to see, obviously, is you hope Trey gets his shot back, more efficient shooting, more efficient scoring would be big. Obviously, you want to continue to see DeJounte play well. You want to continue to see guys like John Collins play like he did tonight. Clint Capella, Kongu still continuing to play well. Bogdanovich can still continue to play well. Jalen Johnson getting back, more into the swing of things after coming back from the injury. You just want to see more positive improvement along it among everybody. And that's the biggest thing for this team. They're going to want to be able to move forward and try to, get into the postseason, after getting out of the playing game. So that'll be the biggest thing realistically. Like I said, this is the last week of the regular season, so we're going to have a lot of answers on where the Hawks are going to be seated, where the Hawks are going to play, who they're going to play, and then we'll answer that next question. Okay, if they're in the play-in, and who do they play, how many games they have to win, and then who would they face if they win said a game. And we'll break it down. You know how we do here on the show. We're gonna break it down like always, and we're gonna see what happens. So like I said, good win, sort of, kind of, against the Mavericks. You got the win. That's just all that matters, is that you got the win. You needed the win. You couldn't afford to lose this game, or else you'd be in the 9th spot. And now they were able to go on, say, Chicago, coming for you. Let's see if we can win. Hawks and Chicago have had 2 buzzer beaters between them, and that series has been crazy. So I'm expecting another crazy game. Obviously, Chicago's been playing better basketball of late to even get themselves into the 10th spot in the Eastern Conference. So the Hawks got to be on their A game against a team that has caused them issues in the past before. But like I said, they got the win tonight. We just got to continue to see what happens after that. But hey, it's your boy Bryce Lewis. I'll see you next time. It's your Atlanta Hawks wrap up.
Just glad we won.